Aquatic Concept sponsors Project Piaba. So I wanted to give you guys an update here. This is 2 weeks ago when we had the problem with these discus having the two medications too close together. One was a very mild, really a preventative type medication. I'm not going to say the brand because I don't want to diss those people because it was my fault, it was not theirs, and a dewormer too close together, even though I thought I had, like I said in that original video, had made some adjustments that would have prevented that. But as you can see, the slime coat just sloughing off these guys, eyes all glazed. The weird thing about it is these fish eat. They act fairly normal other than color and so forth. But if you were to see them now, which I will take a video in the next couple of days and show you, it's a complete different situation and turnaround. But this is the kind of thing that can happen when you do medication, salt, and all of that, and you sort of overdo it. And the reason why I put out my video on salt was not because I did anything wrong on the salt side of it, but it just added to the slime coat issues on these fish. And as you can see, you can't tell on the lighter ones. I don't know, there are certain fish in here who are acting totally normal, such as these two here, and don't have the issues. And then there are some that are, just really obvious that they've got a slime coat problem here. And it was a very weird situation to get into, and a very weird situation in the sense that it took a while for me to get this under control. Now, I don't want to say that this couldn't happen to someone else, because it could easily happen to someone else if you're not paying attention to what I've been talking about. Strangely, none of the other fish in this tank were affected by this. Those of you who know this tank, who follow my channel, this is a very old tank. It's been up about 5 to 7 years. These fish in here are probably at least that old. And the other thing that you will notice is that their fins are clamped a little bit. But this one down here was the worst. And believe it or not, they look totally normal now. And it really took some serious corrections on water changes and proper use of salt and that kind of thing to kind of bring these guys back around a little higher temperature and so forth. So if you run into this kind of a situation, what you want to do is make sure that you are being extremely careful about what you do going forward, because it can mean the difference between life and death on these fish. Now, as I said, for example, this guy here that I'm pointing at had no problems whatsoever. None whatsoever. Wasn't affected. Strangely, I don't think the yellow ones were affected as much either, even though they may act lethargic and that kind of thing. In the video here, they're totally fine. They're totally normal now. But you can see this sloughing off of the slime coat and that sort of thing that created this problem. Very scary situation, especially in a tank that you've had going for so long and has run so beautifully, that you would have this situation happen to you and not lose any fish. That's the very fortunate part of all of this, is I did not lose a single fish. You would look at some of these guys and say, how the heck did you save them? You listen to good people who have been through this and their ideas, people that have raised millions of discus over the years, and you follow their advice, and the result is you get fish that are healthy. You can bring them back from the brink, basically. And that's sort of the situation that we were in here. Now, one other thing I want to talk about before we go any further here is the plants in this tank. I'm redoing this, so you're going to see some plants are floating in this area down in here. I made this video and then I went over it with a voice, so just know that these plants have all been taken care of. But I started this project with the plants, and then the problem with the fish having this issue with the slime coat really kind of prevented me from replanting this tank. I've still got a long ways to go on getting this tank back with full plants and so forth, but I'm going to be working on that, and I will show you the video of this tank completed and the healthy fish in it here probably sometime next week. I don't want to disturb them. They're still not 100%, but they're way much better than they were and on the mend. And I think that getting in there right now and trying to move around hardscape and so forth would just be very, very stressful on them. There's another fish right here, a good example, that did not have any issues, but others did. So I can't explain it. All I can tell you is that these guys came through this. They're fine. And it's amazing, you know, when you are told the right things to do. And I will tell you the treatment on this. Basically, it was to do a lot of water changes and use API stress coat when I did the water changes, and to use salt at around 1 tablespoon per 40 gallons. And that's really what brought these guys back around. This is a 75-gallon tank, so 1 tablespoon per 40 gallons. So 1 3/4 tablespoons basically of salt. And then on water changes, obviously you would replace the amount that you took out. But that's really what brought these guys around. It's just that simple, and that's the importance of using salt correctly. And again, these fish at the bottom here, these rummy noses, you can see their noses are bright red. It's a good indicator 90% of the time that your tank is healthy. All the water parameters in this tank are very good. No ammonia, no nitrites, and very, 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 just a speck of nitrates, which is very common in any tank. If you don't have a speck of nitrates in there, I'd be a little worried about that. You have to have some nitrates in order to know that your cycle is working. Well, thanks for joining me. I just wanted to give you an update on this tank. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Take your time to like this video, subscribe, comment, and share with friends. And we will see you on the next one. Like I said, the next one I'll be talking more about the update on these guys and what they look like now, and the finished tank as far as the plants go and that sort of thing. And like I said, I just didn't want to disturb these guys while I was trying to treat them. Just way too much stress. But we'll get this tank finished, and I will show you that video in about a week. By the time you get this, I will have done that, but I don't want to put it out until I'm absolutely certain that these fish are in top shape here. We will see you on the next one.